Hello wonderful people, it's Wild here. Today I'll be showing you how to build this stylish Minecraft house. As well as looking great, this build would make a perfect survival base. It has 4 stories worth of space, and I'll show you how I go about decorating it. Plus, all of the supplies are easy to get in survival, so let's get building. The materials you need for this build are on your screen now. Here is the outline for our house. Keep in mind that you'll need a 23 by 15 area at minimum for this build. This house has a basement level, so we're going to start by digging out this space here. So I'm going to go 9 blocks along this way, and you can see that we've got this section still marked off. Then I'll go another 16 blocks for a total of 17 this way. Then I'll go another 12 blocks for a total of 13 along this wall. We've got 9 total along the front, so I'm breaking another 8. Then I'll break another 4 for a total of 5 here. And then I'm going to break just 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to make a total of 9 for this outline, so it was just the solid concrete part. I'm then going to go down a total of 6 blocks for the whole area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll only need to go 5 down on the areas where I've already broken one. So I'm going to start digging this out now, ready to build the walls and floor of the basement. There we go, I've got the entire hole dug out now. I'm going to grab some cobblestone and I'm going to start going around the edges just like this. This is a really great time to check that you've dug out the correct shape. So once I've got this in, almost there, and you can see I'm building this just 1 high. We've got our 17 wall here, 9 on this side, 9 blocks along here, 5 blocks along here, 9, and then finally 13 on this side. With that outline in now, I'm going to fill in my floor. Now I'm using polished andesite slabs, but if you're building this in creative or have ample resources, you could easily use blocks. This is just a bit more cost effective. With the floor in, we're going to start on the walls. I'm going to start in one corner and build up to the height of ground level using these strip spruce logs. That should be a total of 5 high. I'll then be counting groups of 3, and if you've got your sides the correct length, you should be left over with no edges. So you can see these are fitting in perfectly. With those marked in, I can go and extend these up to the same height. Now, with exception of this gap here at the front, you can see it is to the right of the section that sticks out. I'm going to connect up these posts with a beam. I'm also going to find where this corner is here. So I've counted 3 from this post and 3 from this post, and I'll build up as well like this. And I'll connect up these posts here. So it's just this one missing. I'm then going to fill in this side wall with some cobblestone. I'll come back in here and fill in this wall with some cobblestone as well. And then I'll fill in the whole rest of these walls, leaving out these 2. I filled in all the walls now, so let's add in a staircase. That's going in this gap here. I'm going to start by breaking these 3 blocks towards the entry, and for the stairs I'm using spruce stairs, which I'll be wrapping around like this. Now it's important to light up on your stairs, and you could always use this space behind here for some additional storage. I'm then just going to build my staircase down, wrapping the stairs around in the corner. There we go, it should finish there. I'm then going to look from the direction of these stairs to place in my door here like this. Then I'll come inside the build and use trapdoors to create a fake wall or a really thin wall here for the doorway. So it should all be flush from this side and stick out just a bit from the wall and be solid on this side. I'm going to add in some stairs here and here like that. And now I'm just going to create some beams for the roof of this story. You can see I'm going to be connecting up across the basement level like this. Then I'll connect up this way. I'll quickly place in a few temporary torches down here. And I'll be using spruce slabs to fill in each of these gaps. You can see once I've got these filled in, we have this lovely beam texture below. So I've finished filling in that floor. I'm now going to dig out this space here off to the side and fill it in with some of these slabs as well. And we'll be ready to get working on the bit of the build that sticks up from the ground. We're going to start by adding in some posts. I'm going to be placing these on top of where we have other posts. So I'm going to build up 5 high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 across the front here. And then on top of all of our other post locations as well. Then just as before, we're going to connect these up. If you're enjoying today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you consider liking and subscribing. And if you'd like to access some additional benefits like world downloads and access to a multi-world Patreon server, check out my Patreon. I'd love to have you join the community. Coming up to this section where we have our staircase, I'll connect over the top of the front of the stairs, as well as around all of the other sides to create a little box like that. While we're working on adding in these posts, I'm going to come to this section of the build and I'm going to add a post coming up 5 high here and then 3 along coming up 5 high here as well. And I'll connect these up just like that. Now I'm going to take a temporary block. I've got some red wool and I'm going to be using this to mark my window locations. I've got a 2 high window here and all of our windows are going to be these 1 by 2 shapes. I'm then going to come across and have one here as well. Count 2 spaces along and have one on the very end. As I come around to this left side wall, I'm going to leave this gap free and then have 2 windows next to each other coming towards the front. We've got a doorway here. I'm going to sneak in here and add in a window. That should be above the doorway. And then we have 2 windows on the front here and here, just like that. To fill in these walls, let's start on this section over here. I'm going to be filling this in with some oak planks. Just these 2 walls. Keep in mind that I'm going to leave this gap free, but then I'll go ahead and fill in the rest of the gaps with some cobblestone. You can see that that's going to include this wall here. We'll leave this gap open for our walkway, but I will fill in around this window. And I'll fill in this wall as well. And the rest we're just filling in the rest of the panels. We've now got to add our staircase here. I'm going to place in a couple of torches. And then I'll build 3 across, 2 across, and 1 across to create a little step like this. Using some oak logs, I'll place them on top going upwards. So that goes up 4. I'll then come in line with this log and add in a stripped spruce log sticking out here. I'm going to use some red wool building up like this to give me a support system to place in these oak logs here like that. And I can go ahead and break those once they're in. And then I'm going to be using spruce stairs for the stairway. Stairs in, I'll also fill in this little gap here using some spruce slabs. Let's go ahead and add in some torches now, and we're going to get ready to add on the second story of this build. So like we had for the basement, I'm going to create some beams for this level using these stripped spruce logs. I'm then going to fill in all of the panels, including this one over here, over the stairwell, with some of the spruce slabs. Okay, let's add in some oak posts now. I'm counting 1 post back from the front and building up 5 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can then add in another 2 posts and that'll bring me to the back of the build. I'm then going to add in another 4 posts going to the side, which will bring me to this side of the build. And I'll add in a few more to create the rectangular shape of this story. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the beams for this story, just connecting them up like we have before. Except on this last panel here, that's the one where on the left hand side we don't have any windows. I'm going to start by filling in these back 2 with stone brick all the way up to the top. And then I can add in my post to connect up to that and fill underneath that with some oak planks. I'm going to switch back to my temporary block here, the red wool, and I'm going to start marking in the windows. We have a window in every panel here, except for this one here where we have a door. It should be above that doorway. And this one here at the top of the landing where we'll have another door. All the rest of the walls can now be filled in with oak planks. I've got my red wool temporary block again, and I'm going to mark in a few more windows in the gables. So this one's located above this central post and it's 1 block up. I'm then going to have a mirroring window at the back of the build, so they're lined up like that. I'm then going to come to either end and find the central post and build up 5 high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with some more of my oak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. Now on this side where we don't have a chimney, I'm going to add in 2 windows, one on either side of the post. And on the other side, I'll just have the 1 window on the side where there isn't a chimney. Let's start filling in these gables now. On the 2 smaller gables, I'll just start by building 7 across the bottom here. Then work my way up in a pyramid shape, like that. And there we go. Now for these other gables, we're following a more intricate shape here. We're going to start by building up 2 high, like this. 2 high again, going over the top of the windows this time, like that. And then 1 high to finish off. For the side with the chimney, I'm going to do this on just 1 side to begin with, like this. And then I'm going to do the part of the chimney that fits into this shape out of my stone brick. So I'll move that over to make it easier to build. So I'm starting by building up 2 high, and then switch to my oak. Then I've got another 2 high, but only on this section here, and some oak, and then finish with 1 oak on the top. So it should look like this. Next, I'm going to place a temporary block up here, and then I'm going to build out 2 with some of my stripped spruce logs. I'm going to break that temporary block and build all the way across the top of the roof until I reach the other side, where I'll come out another 2 from this oak log, creating a nice long beam. Next, I'm going to come inside the build now. I'm going to break these 2 corner spots of the floor and add a ladder going all the way up the top. And I'm going to continue up this wall so I can get into the attic that we're about to create. Just going to quickly place down a few torches and begin placing in some beams like we have before. So this build really has 4 stories, which gives you plenty of room to use this as a survival base or to decorate it with all sorts of decor. The options are endless with this build. Now when I'm filling in, of course, I'll just leave out the gap where we have our ladder, and I'll fill in each panel as per usual. Next, I'm going to add on the roof. Place in a few torches so we don't have mobs spawning. And we've got 4 distinct sections we can work on here where we're going to be joining this smaller gable with the larger gable. You'll need spruce planks, stairs and slabs here. I'm going to start by building along with a row of spruce planks. Then I'll have a row of stairs. Now you'll see as I come up to this smaller gable, I can rotate them because stairs would just naturally come along here like this for this particular gable. Then for the next layer on the larger gable, I'll come across with some blocks and that'll connect up to the stair behind. And then I have a row of stairs again, which I'll then connect up with a stair here like this. I'm going to leave all of the blocks that are above this central point of the gable free for now, but I'm going to add in a row of stairs going along to that point and finishing there, and then a row of slabs going all the way back here. I'm going to follow these same processes to connect them up for the other corners. So we've first got a block, then we've got some stairs coming around, and then blocks connecting up to the stairs, and stairs connecting up to the blocks. Here, and then the slabs at the top. There we go, and it's the exact same thing for the back side of the build. Now I've got this corner here and we've got a chimney coming out of this section of the roof. So I'm only going to fill in these first 2 layers here so that way we can add in the chimney. To build this chimney, I'm going to build up 4 high with stone bricks on top of this block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to build up so I'm 2 above that for the one behind it. Then I'm going to build down 4 blocks from the top of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. And then add another 2 on top of that. So we're going up in steps of 2. Coming off to the side here, I'm going to add in 2 walls, then a stair, and then 1 more wall. I'll let a campfire on top of each of these points, and then surround all the campfires with some more of these spruce trapdoors. With this part of the chimney in place, we can fill in the rest of the roof. So we're going to follow along the process as we had before. So we've got a stair next for this layer, and then a block coming in behind, and I'll just connect it up to the chimney, pretending as if the chimney wasn't even there. Then we have a layer of stairs again. I'll leave out this bit here, but we're going to add in a couple stairs to connect up, and then finally the slabs, which I'll place in behind the chimney as well. Let's move down here and finish off the rest of this chimney. I've got all sorts of stone brick items here. First I'm going to build 3 along this gap and place 2 stairs on top of each other like this. Now chimney designs can be quite complicated, so if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that's totally fine. I'm placing in a couple of walls next. Then I'm going to build up to the height of these stairs, so that's a 2x2 area with some more blocks. I'm then going to create a design using a chiseled stone brick, and then we've got some stairs placed in like that. I'm going to have 2 stone bricks coming up from here and some more stairs behind here, and I've got some walls coming up next. I'm going to add another stair coming over to this side there, and a block here. A couple more stairs next here and here, and I'll add in 2 walls on top of each other. To finish off the chimney, I'm going to create a little upside down L shape out of this stone brick, where I'll add a stair underneath here and 2 stairs on top. And if we take a step back, we have a much nicer looking chimney. Let's add all the details that will bring this build to life. On each of these spruce posts, I'm going to add a spruce log coming out from the top, then a stair at the top and the bottom, and then a spruce trapdoor in the center like this. And I'll do this all the way around the build, adding in this same design. You can see here that when I'm doing it on the corners, I'm going to be going and doing it on both sides of the corners. Almost done. And there we go. Now you can see I've added in the log for this side over the staircase, and I'm going to go ahead and add a stair in as well, but I'm not going to do the rest of the decor as we'll have decorations on the steps themselves. Next, I'm going to grab some of these spruce slabs and I'll connect up the posts like this. You can see I'm placing them on the lower level here, and I'm going to wrap them around in these corners. I'll skip over where the fireplace is. I'm also doing this around the oak section here in the lower story. Now I'm going to add in some decorated pots on top of these 2 logs, and I'm going to go in with some fences. I can place in 2 oak fences on this side, and then I can place in 3 on this side as we don't have the slab in the way. Now let's work on the decoration on all the windows here on this lower story. So I'm going to break the temporary block and add in some glass. Then I'll add a birch slab, a spruce trapdoor, and then some oak trapdoors off to the side. I find it easiest to do the frame above and below first, and then come back in to add in the trapdoors and the glass. But you can work in whatever system works best for you. I'm not going to add any of these decorations to the lower story windows on the oak. Okay, let's break this and add in our oak trapdoors. I'm going to have these going off to either side. Here I'm going to have them going to the same direction, like this. And next I want to add in the door decoration. I'll remove these temporary blocks and add in my spruce doorway. I'm going to use some decorated pots here, some cobblestone walls, and then create a small spruce archway. Just like this. I'm going to add in a stair here and here, as well as a spruce trapdoor to create a small arch over this opening. And then for each of the windows, I'm going to add a pot on top. Oh, and it seems I've forgotten the glass in this window here. Let's add that quickly. I'm also going to add pots to these 2 pots here and here. And then I've got my oak trapdoors, and I'm going to place these on the sides of the oak blocks here. Onto the second story, we're going to start by creating some doorway decorations like we have on the lower story with our decorated pots, the cobblestone walls, and our spruce archway. So we've got the one here for the balcony and the one here for the entryway. Like that. Now on each of these posts, we're going to create the same decoration. We'll have a log coming out at the top, then we'll have a cobblestone wall at the bottom, and then add in 3 birch fences to connect it up. Now if we take a step back, you can already see that these decorations are bringing the build to life, but let's keep going. I'm going to add in the railing next, so I'm going to add a stripped oak log on top of these post locations on the balcony and then at the side here. I'm going to add some pots with some decorated pots with flower pots on top of these 2 here and the outer 2 on the balcony, and then a slab on this central one. And I could also put some oak trapdoors on all the outward facing sides. Now for the railing itself, I'll place a oak fence gate on the central one here, and this one's going to connect up to the wall, and then I'll add an oak fence on the side. So for this one, we have the central oak fence gate, and then fences on either side of that. Coming around here, we've got the fence gates again in the center, and then fences to the side. Onto the windows, but first let's break these temporary blocks and add in a door here and over here as well. Now for all of the windows on this story, we're going to add a birch stair at the bottom with birch slabs on either side. Then off to one side, I'm going to add in 2 spruce trapdoors. I'll have a pot in front of the window and I'll add the glass in there as well. And then I'm going to create a little archway again using the spruce stairs and slabs. So it should look like this. You'll notice as I go around that I have my trapdoors, my spruce trapdoors, going off to different sides. So let's have these ones going off to this side. And then I think for this one over here on the balcony, I'm going to have the trapdoors going off to the other side. And I'm going to continue adding these window decorations all the way around the top story of this build. So all of those top story windows are done. We're going to use the same supplies to decorate these windows on the oak section here. So I'm creating the window ledge like this. Then I'm going to be using some oak trapdoors for these shutters as we've got the spruce next door, and then I'll add a pot in front. And over this side as well, we've got the stair with slabs on either side, shutters, and a pot in front. The last windows we need to decorate are up here in the gables. So on the taller gables, I'm going to start by replacing the temporary blocks with some glass. Then I'll have a wall at the bottom and connect it up with some fences going up to the top. I'll have a birch stair underneath each window and then a slab to either side, and I've got pots in front of the windows. And then I'm going to create my shutters using these spruce trapdoors, like this. And of course on the side where we have the chimney, I'm still going to add in the cobblestone wall and the birch fences, but I'll just do the window decorations off to the one side. Just like that. As for the smaller windows, we'll place a stair in the center with a slab off to either side. Replace the window with glass, add a flower pot, and then just a trapdoor off to one side. I'm going to be using some cobblestone now to create the edging and the final detail for this roof. I'm going to start on the taller gables and I'm going to come actually to this front side here. We're going to follow along the shape created by the roof. So we've got a block, then a stair, then a block, then a stair, and then a slab at the very top. I'm then going to come underneath and use some more stairs here and here just to make it all look smooth, as well as one more at the top. Now for this side where we have the chimney, we just have to pretend like we're following along the outside of the roof. So we've got our block, then a stair, a block, then a stair, then we've got our stair and then a slab, and I'll come underneath again and add in these stairs here to smooth off the look. Let's do this on the other end. Block, stair, stair, slab. Block, stair, stair and slab. We've got a few more stairs here. Go. Now we need to add the outline to these gables, and for this we're simply going to add some stairs going up to the top. Just like that. And I'll add stairs underneath as well to clean off that look. Next, I'm going to take some stripped spruce logs and I'll build out 2 from that oak. On top, I'll add a cobblestone stair and then one upside down coming out from that. This is where we're going to fill in this gap now. So I'm going to come back with some slabs. I'm coming back 2 slabs here. Then I'll place in a stair and then a slab to finish it off. Let's do the same thing on this other roof. Next, I'm going to take some cobblestone slabs and I'm going to come along from these stairs here either side of the smaller gable, connecting up to the larger gable to finish it off. So if we take a step back, here's how the roof should look. We're going to add a little bit more cobblestone now to the very top. We're going to add stairs on either side like this, and then connect them up with some slabs. Next, I'm going to take some spruce trapdoors and some oak trapdoors. Where we're placing them underneath the edge of the roof like this, I'll just go straight in with the trapdoors. Then underneath these gables, I'll add the trapdoors in, and then I'm going to grab some spruce trapdoors and place them on either side and above. So you can see that this one will flip down onto the oak log, and this one will flip up onto the oak planks. I'm also going to add some of these spruce trapdoors over here. I'll just build them along and join up with the chimney on this side. Let's add in some chains and lanterns next, and then I'll show you how I go about decorating this build. From the taller gables, I'm just hanging them down one chain length, and then from the shorter gables, I'm hanging them directly off this log. Let's get decorating. So let's have a look at how I've decorated this house. You can see on the exterior of the build, I've placed in lots of farms. I've got some animal pens at the very front, and then I've created these small patches of my different crops going around the build, and I've broken them up just to distribute the colors of the crops. You can see I've used some of the cobblestone that we've got going on in the foundation of the build over here to create a fountain. Then I've brought the spruce in from the rest of the build to create some furnishings like this outdoor table, some of the fences, and of course I have a little scarecrow over here. Now let's head inside the build to check out how I've decorated the interior. And we're going to head downstairs first into the basement. Now in survival, it's really useful to be able to run in from exploring and gathering into a good storage room. So that's what I've created down in this space. You can see that we've got an absolute ton of storage here. I've broken up the storage into these panels, giving me 4 groups of 12 chests. But of course, if you needed more storage, you could have chests along this whole wall. But you can see here that I've got a space for every single thing I'm going to need in survival. I've also decorated the space with some pretty elements, mixing in some of my crafting blocks to make sure I have access to those. Over here, I've got a little smelting area, and you can see I've got my anvil, and I've set it up a little bit like a blacksmith's workshop. And then tucked in this little alcove, I've found it to be the perfect space to create a little automatic smelter. There's really everything you need for your one-stop survival shop down here. Let's head back up our staircase and go in the next level. Now, of course, we've got our ladder to easily access all the stories while we're inside, but we're going to head through this door next. So for this floor, since it's the first one when you walk into this build, I've wanted to make it a little more decorative. So we've got an entryway here, then we come in to a living room sort of setup, and you can see I've created some furniture and a place to store some books. We've got artwork on the walls, and then I've got a dining area over here using some of the jungle wood. For this build, since we've got a lot of natural tones going on in the construction itself, for the furniture I've stuck to these natural tones as well. You can see I've then chosen to use red and white as my accent colours, so all of my decor fits in with this. And I've even added some matching curtains. Now if we sneak past this chair, we can see that I've created a kitchen here in the back underneath the staircase. And this is a great way to make use of this space both beautifully, and it's got a lot of the blocks we're going to be using in survival. Alright, let's head back outside, and we're going to go up the next set of steps to the next level of the build. I love how you can easily access any story of this house to access all of your needs. Let's enter in here into the study and library. I've got all of my books in here, and you can see I've added an enchanting table so I can do some enchanting while I'm up here. When decorating, I like to keep a nice flow, so you can see that in all of the stories, I've got the same accent color. I've used the same woods for the different types of furnitures, and I've used the same sort of style of decor all throughout. Now I've broken this floor into 2 areas, so let's head through this doorway into my bedroom. So I've got lots of furniture going on in here. You can see I've got a wardrobe for some storage, I've got my bed, and I've gone ahead and created a fireplace where we've got our chimney. Getting a look at this room from a different angle, you can see how important wall decor is to the interior space. So I've got paintings, and then I've used some glow item frames to create some custom artwork that fit in with my color scheme. Okay, let's head up our ladder now to our attic space, and I've dedicated this to some more survival uses. And of course, if you're decorating this in creative, it's sometimes fun to add in these more utilitarian spaces, and it adds to the story of the build. So up here we've got some additional storage, and then we've got every single block you're going to need for crafting. I've even tucked a little crafting table down here in the floor, which is disguised by the wall below. I've got stations for brewing and map making and archery. We've got all of our smelting machines, and I've still kept it looking beautiful by including some of the decor like pots and artwork. So now you have an awesome house. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you consider liking and subscribing, and join my Discord to share some pictures of your build. I'll see you in another video.